Hello. So we are going to be looking at the tools of a printer, okay? And like the printer that we are basically talking about is not a printing machine, but the person who does printing, okay, is the person that we are going to be calling the printer. Then the tools are like what this person needs to do printing. So we are going to be looking at the printer's tools in graphics designing, okay? Let me say you're given a job, what you're expected to be with, or what you need to have as a graphics designer to like get to be considered, okay? Or to get to be considered as a good designer, or what may what should I say? So what may help you obtain good work as a designer, okay? What you're expected to have as a good designer, okay? There are several stuff, okay, that may put you at a certain point that leads you to design good works, or that could prevent you from certain mistakes that we may consider silly mistakes, or those mistakes that you can avoid. So if we like try to go here and we look at them, okay, so we go back, we look at them, okay. So like the printer's tools typically refer to the software or utilities that help, okay, utilities that help manage and organize printing tasks. So these may include printer drivers. So let us try to discuss and see. I'll be giving you some examples, and also I'll be giving you some examples for you to understand them a little bit better. So if number one, we look at the printer drivers, okay? So software, this is software that enables communication between the computer and the printer, okay? And ensuring proper functionality, because there are some printers that you won't just connect to the maybe the laptop or the desktop computer and you just print, okay? So most of the bigger computers, meaning those that are to serve approximately large tasks, need drivers like softwares, okay, to get connected to the computer, okay? So that maybe you put them into network whereby you need to connect them to maybe more than one computer, like that, eh? So all that is done with drivers or with a certain software or certain software. So for you to be more effective and not to fidget around when a client comes by, so you have to make sure that you do the installation of that software before, okay? Number two, printing management software, okay? So tools, these are basically softwares or tools to monitor and control print jobs, okay? Track usage and allocate costs, okay, in the business environments. So let me say I like want to like print at the back of the page and the front of the page, okay? And I actually know the number of copies that I happen to want, okay, during the printing. So it basically means that if I happen to have a better software that could save me from doing a lot of tasks, so it means that if it is a good software and it is already installed, I can put the number of copies that I want whether I want how many copies of each page or paper. Do I want it to be printed on back and front or front and back? You get that? So that is why we need the print management softwares. Okay, so to track different jobs, okay, and to track usage, because now there are some printers, there are some printing machine wholesalers that would prefer, instead of like selling you or selling to you a machine, so you just rent it, and at the end of the month you happen to like share the profits that have been made. Okay, like for that example, so if you don't have the software as a wholesaler or as the person dealing in the printing industry, it basically means that you are not able to like count how many copies did you print. Okay, so, and it also helps you evaluate whether you're making profits or you're like paying off the person who rented you that machine more money than what you make. Okay, then the print spooler, okay, a service that manages the print queue, allowing multiple print jobs to be stored and processed in order. Okay, so this is self-explanatory. It is a service that manages the print queue, allowing multiple print jobs to be stored. Okay, so you may have maybe a print that you would want to print in maybe on A4, then there is that you may want to print on A1 in within the same printer at the same time. Okay, so this would help you achieve that. Okay, then the printer maintenance utilities, software to troubleshoot and resolve common print issues such as cleaning print heads or checking ink levels. Okay, because as you print, you should also be able to know what are the ink levels, so what ink is remaining. Okay, then besides looking at the remaining ink, you should also be able to tell, okay, check the condition of your machine. Okay, is it dirty? Is it okay? Because once the machine is dirty, it basically means that the print out quality may be affected. Okay, the sharpness of what you are printing may also be affected. Okay, then the color management tools that help ensure accurate color reproduction in printed documents. Just imagine you're printing a certain photo, you have not got into it like editing it or doing what, then at the end of the day when you print it out, you happen to find that the colors are differing, okay, from the original colors at the time of designing or taking to the final output. So you should be able to tell the colors, you should be able to identify the colors or notice color changes, because for when the client comes and finds that you printed his documents and they are typically different from what he had ordered for, then they may refuse to complete up the payment, they may refuse to pay you, okay, at the end of the day, or they may also refuse to give you any other job. So you should be able to have color management tools that are to help ensure accurate color reproduction in printed documents. Okay, then firmware updates. Some printers may have, okay, so some printers may have let's see here, print firmware. So some computers may have firmware, okay, that needs to be updated, okay, so to enhance the performance. So most of the times, let's say you're using softwares, okay, as a designer. Let me say you have you're using CS6. So yes, it can design as CC maybe 2024, okay, and you have wonderful designs, and if the final person does not happen to look at your designs and does not happen to look at you as you design, he may say maybe you used the latest version, yet you used CS6, okay. But for me, what I would say about that is why, like the reasons why, some of the reasons why you may need to have the updated softwares would be they happen to save a lot of time. Because let me say you go to Photoshop, if at all you're using Photoshop CS6, there are times there's maybe Illustrator CS6, so there are some things that you may want to do as you design, okay, and you find that you have to click over like 3 steps. Yet in the latest version, you just go to maybe your right hand or left hand and you make selection, okay, so that helps to save time, okay. So number seven, I would say remote print apps, applications that allow printing from mobile devices or remote locations. So the day has come to, like, with several years, everything keeps on changing. Long ago, we could look at storing our stuff on like CDs, floppy disks, and some other stuff. Okay, there are times where you could find that the CD is more used than the flash, but right now you find that people use more of apps, okay, and command everything with remotes without moving, okay. So it saves you time, okay, and also developing your own applications that allow printing from mobile devices or remote locations. So you should find these apps from Google Play, from different, let me show you what you do. When you come to your phone, you look for Google Play Store like this. Then from there you go. Okay, so I've done that, like printing. Are you seeing? So we have the mobile printer app, we have the smart printer, mobile print, smart print for HP, print app. So there are several apps that you can use and they help you achieve what you basically need in the shortest time possible, instead of you standing up and standing down. You get? So it saves you from walking, okay, and doing several tasks up and down. So it saves you energy, it saves you the costs. Then print jobs tracking tools, software that monitors and logs printing activities, used for managing resources and security. So that is what we talked at first, whereby there are some softwares that could help you monitor. Let me say you're not always at your workshop, but you would want to see what goes through your printers. Do these people happen to print some stuff and they don't inform you? So you could do all of that with just a few softwares that you install on the computers that are basically connected to the printer, and they could show you, okay. Then some of the examples of each, okay. So with the printer drivers that we started with, we have the HP Universal Print driver, we have the Canon UFR to printer driver. Then when it comes to print management softwares, we have PaperCut, we have Print Manager, okay. Then the print spoiler, for the print spoiler, we have Windows Print Spoiler, we have Windows OS and CUPS. That is the common Unix printing system. So as you see them all on my screen, that is what we discussed before and the little example. So you shouldn't forget that this is printing management, where we happen to understand the different tools that we are basically to use as people who are professional in printing, people who are professional in graphics designing, and like some of the stuff that you should know or you should also apply to your computers and the printer to increase the effectiveness, okay, in the output, speed, and others, okay. So endeavor to see that you do what? You check them out. So besides that, today we would want also to look at what would determine the price that you request for, okay. So as a designer, different people happen to come to you, okay. So they happen to come to you to design for them, but what to design for them, to print for them, but what could determine the prices that you could tell these people to pay, okay. So there are several factors, but the first factor is, let me say someone comes for you to print for him. The first thing you ask is, do you have that thing that you want me to print for you? So if this person says no, then that is basically money. Now you start and ask these people, do you have any samples? Then if they happen to say no, now that goes on increasing the price that you would have charged this person, because first of all, this person has no any template that you would happen to, any reference image or a template that you will happen to look at, maybe improve it or do what. So he has nothing, but he knows what he wants. Sorry. But he knows what he wants. So what you have to do is, maybe you also continue asking this person, okay, so what paper size, okay, also it also determines, because you would count the cost per each paper on the cost of production before you design on it. So when you go and buy those papers, how much are they charging them, how big are they, okay. So putting all those factors into consideration, then you determine the price, okay. So thank you for watching, and please remember that you could subscribe to this channel. We happen to share a lot of content that is in graphics designing and videography, showing you some tips that you could use and also happen to guide you. So endeavor to see that you subscribe. And for my students that are basically at school, don't forget to do what? To sign, okay, that you attended. For any questions about the same topics, so you can try to contact me. That is why I happen to share this video. So endeavor to see that you check out those and you note them. And I'm also going to be using WhatsApp to share the images to what we were discussing. So you could go through, you could also visit YouTube and try to see the different stuff that we happen to like discuss, okay. So thank you for watching, and endeavor to see that you subscribe.